dumb war tactics that actually worked. It's the Vietnam War, and as you might know, things weren't going as planned for the US Army. Though militarily outmatched in almost every way, the Viet Cong soldiers always seemed to have the upper hand. The psychological torture of booby traps everywhere and never knowing when the enemy would pop out from an underground tunnel took a heavy toll on the mental health of American soldiers. So in desperation, they came up with their own version of psychological warfare called Operation Wandering Soul, which surprisingly worked. But maybe not in the way they intended. See, in Vietnam, there's a belief that the dead must be buried in their homeland to ensure their souls would make it safely to the afterlife. The souls of those who died away from home would be left to wander aimlessly in pain and suffering, like a teenager whose parents took away their phone for a week. When the US Army learned of this, they went to work creating audio recordings of would-be Viet Cong spirits who were wandering the jungle battlefields forever. The thinking was that at worst, these recordings would demoralize their enemy, and at best, they would actually convince the Viet Cong that they were surrounded by the dead souls of their fellow soldiers and make them run home. Now, obviously, if Americans recorded these ghost voices, it might have been a little hard to believe. Toi chet roy, vina di, tu ku min di. So they got some of their South Vietnamese allies to record the lines to bump up the authenticity. These recordings had spooky Buddhist funeral music in the background and ghosts saying things like, "My body is gone, I'm dead, go home my friends before it's too late, I came back to let you know I am dead, I am dead." When the recordings were ready, the soldiers took them out into the jungle and would then play them at night from the loudspeakers mounted to helicopters and boats, leaving the Viet Congs confused and thinking, "What? Ghosts know how to fly helicopters?" Unsurprisingly, when hearing the recordings, most Viet Cong soldiers immediately realized that these were in fact not actual ghosts. But here's what made this strange strategy work. Anytime the Americans would play these recordings, the Viet Congs would start firing in the direction of the loudspeakers, which would instantly give away their positions. There are some reports that Operation Wandering Soul did actually manage to spook some Vietnamese soldiers, but ironically, it was the US's South Vietnamese allies that got freaked out and wanted to go home, not the Viet Cong.